Alright guys, virtual workout number 18 coming at you here today. For today's work, all you need is one dumbbell. If you have two dumbbells, that's great. I want you to go ahead and choose the heavier of the two. So to get started with our quality work here, we're going to get started with some leg lifts. We have 3 sets of 10, so we need abs by the end of our extended spring break here. So we got this nice core movement here today. So tempo is our friend. We talked about this a lot yesterday as well. If 10 leg lifts is pretty easy for you, let's go ahead, let's slow those legs down and make it a little bit more difficult. So those leg lifts, we're going to go ahead, place those hands under our bottom slightly. You're going to pick those feet up off the ground. Once they come off the ground, you're not going to let them touch the ground. I want you to pull those shoulder blades off the ground slightly, raising those legs up, and then coming down slowly. Remember, if this is easy, let's go ahead and increase that tempo. So come down even slower, keeping more time under tension, okay? So just because we're at home, just because we don't have a lot of weights to work with, doesn't mean we can't continue getting strong. We just have to be smart about it. So we need to focus on that tempo on a lot of these movements, okay? So after those leg lifts, we're going to get into a dumbbell good morning. So you're going to take your heavier of your 2 dumbbells. We're going to move into a back rack position. Holding that dumbbell in that back rack position, we're going to put our feet shoulder width, toes pointed out slightly, legs straight, shoulder blades pulled back. We're not letting that rib cage flare. We want to keep that nice hollow position. You're going to shoot your hips back as you come down parallel to the ground, getting that good stretch of those hammies, squeezing those glutes at the top. We're going to go ahead and knock out 15 of those good mornings. Again, if this is fairly light because of the dumbbells that we have, tempo. Work on that tempo. Slow down that eccentric phase. So that lowering phase, slow that down so that you get more time under tension on those muscles on that posterior chain. After that, we have dumbbell push press. That push press is that dip and drive. So we're going to go ahead and take our dumbbell, again, keeping that core down by keeping that rib cage down. You're going to go ahead and dip those knees, drive that dumbbell up and over. Catch in that dip, and then re-drive. Remember, on that push press, we are not re-dipping under. So from the side here, again, dipping those knees, driving up, catching in that dip, and re-driving up with that movement. We have 20 on each arm for a total of 5 sets there. Alright guys, so after you finish that quality work, what I want you to do is go ahead and video yourself doing 4 to 6 dumbbell clean and jerk. So this is going to be a single arm dumbbell clean and jerk. I want 4 to 6 from the side and 4 to 6 from the front. We're going to explain that movement here in a second because it's in our workout. But again, you're going to go ahead and record this, put that on the TFF member page. That way we can critique that movement. Make sure you guys are as efficient as possible with doing that movement. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about our workout here today. This is a really fun workout. I'm really excited to see you guys do this, see what kind of scores you can put out on this one. We're going to get started with 8 clean and jerks. So that clean and jerk, we are going to go ahead and hinge from that hip. You want those shoulder blades back. Hinging from that hip, bending with those knees slightly, dropping that dumbbell to the ground. From here, you're going to push that ground away from you. You're going to powerfully explode through those hips, squeezing those glutes at the top and coming up onto those toes. You're going to shrug that shoulder high, and you're going to pull yourself under that dumbbell. From there, you're going to drive that elbow fast in front of you. Should be in front of that dumbbell. You're going to stand up from there. From there, you're going to go ahead and dip. Drive that dumbbell up powerfully before re-dipping under. You're going to go ahead and cycle through those reps, okay? From the front, same thing here. Feet shoulder width, toes pointed out slightly. What we really want to see from the front is that you are not dipping that shoulder down. So we want to try to keep those shoulders as square as possible, realizing, yes, you're going to dip a little bit, and that's okay. But again, we want to try to stay as square as possible. So hinging at those hips, dropping that dumbbell down to the ground, driving through those hips, squeezing those glutes onto those toes, shrugging that shoulder high, and then dropping or pulling ourselves under that dumbbell. Again, elbow out in front of that dumbbell. Standing up. From there, you're going to go ahead and dip. Drive that dumbbell up, re-dip under, stand it all the way up, okay? So, we're going to go ahead and do 8 clean and jerks. This is a hard count, so this is 8 on each arm, okay? So 8 on each arm, left and right arm. After that, we're going to do 100 foot of handstand walking or bear crawls. Now, for those of you who can handstand walk, sweet, we're going to knock out 100 total foot. For those of you doing bear crawls, same thing, sweet, we're going to do 100 total feet. Handstand walking probably goes without any additional talking about it. You're going to be walking on your hands. Now, as far as the bear crawl goes, we want to see your hips above your shoulders. So you're going to be on the ground here, crawling forward for 100 feet. Now, realizing we're doing this probably in our garage or in our living room, we don't generally have 100 foot of free space to go out. So, however much space you have, even if that's only 10 foot, go 10 foot forward, turn around, bring it back. You're just gonna have to make more transitions, okay? And that's completely fine. Now, after that, we're gonna move into those 8 clean and jerks again. So everything else applies that we just talked about with those clean and jerks. Then we're gonna move into 60 pull-ups, okay? Or plate rows. Now, if you have access to a pull-up bar, awesome. Let's do those pull-ups. Pull-ups, again, are just bringing your chin above that bar. Now, if you don't have access, we're gonna take our plate, we're gonna take the heavier of our 2 plates that we have. You're gonna go ahead and keep that core nice and tight. You're gonna hinge from the hips, getting nice and flat to the ground. From here, you're gonna go ahead and look forward slightly, retract those shoulder blades back, trying to pinch that spine, and then pulling your arms back. A little pause at the top before descending back down towards the floor. Same thing, retract shoulder blades, pull at the top. It's gonna be a 1-for-1 count, so 1 pull-up or 1 plate row. Now, after that plate row, we're gonna go back into those clean and jerks, okay? And then we're gonna move into a 75-foot handstand walk or bear crawl. Again, after that, we're moving back into 8 clean and jerks. And now this time we're going 40 chest to bar pull-ups. So chest to bar pull-up, obviously making contact with your chest, anywhere from your collarbone to your nipple line. After that, we're gonna go into plate rows if you don't have those chest to bar pull-ups, so same thing with those plate rows. Then we're going back into those 8 clean and jerks. Then we're going this time into a 50-foot handstand walk or bear crawl, okay? Finishing up with our final set of 8 clean and jerks, and then this time we have 20 bar muscle-ups. Now, on that bar muscle-up, again, from that dead hang, you will go into that dip position and press yourself out. Now, if you're doing plate rows, we're still gonna do 20 plate rows, and then we're gonna do 20 skull crushers. So you're gonna go ahead and knock out your 20 plate rows, then you'll go ahead and come onto the ground here. I like to keep my feet flat on the ground. From there, you're gonna go ahead and press that plate out in front of you. You're gonna go ahead and lock those elbows in place. You're gonna hinge from those elbows, touching that plate to the ground, and extending up for 20 additional reps there. This is gonna stimulate the dip portion of that muscle up. Now, let's talk intensity on this one. This is a longer workout. I did this workout actually 4 or 5 weeks ago, and it took somewhere around 20 to 25 minutes. I don't remember the time exactly. So expect to be doing this one for a little bit longer. So that means this isn't going to be a super high heart rate. Yes, our heart rate's gonna be elevated, and it's gonna be getting elevated in different aspects of it. Now, depending on where your strengths and weaknesses are, is going to determine where that heart rate's gonna be elevated. Now, for most of us, that dumbbell is gonna be fairly light for these clean and jerks. So you guys should be able to move through these with a pretty good pace or a pretty good intensity, okay? So that means that that heart rate's gonna get elevated. Now, for those of you doing bear crawls, you're gonna go ahead and knock that out, but it's not that taxing of a movement, so that's actually probably going to allow that heart rate to go ahead and come down. Now, for those of us doing handstand walks, this is a high difficulty, high skill movement, so we're gonna probably have to break this up. Unless you're Ashley or Brittany Herman and you're gonna do all 100 foot in one go, the rest of us are probably gonna break this up into 20-foot increments or maybe less depending on your ability. So this is actually gonna build in some rest time because you're gonna have to get that heart rate down. You're gonna go ahead and have to breathe before kicking back up into that handstand. So again, your heart rate's gonna be jumping around a little bit depending on what you're good or maybe not as efficient on. Those pull-ups, again, most people are not gonna do 60 straight unbroken pull-ups. I don't even expect to see 60 unbroken plate rows. So again, there's gonna be little breaks where you're gonna be having that opportunity to pull that heart rate down. So intensity-wise, if we're on those heart rate monitors, we're gonna be anywhere between that 75 to 85%. Time-wise, again, with the modifications of the dumbbell and the plate rows, we're probably gonna be between 15 and 20 minutes on this one. So again, it's gonna be a decent amount of time that you're going through this here. So keep that heart rate into a controllable place. Go ahead, keep that pace where you can go ahead and maintain it. Let's have some fun with this workout, and I look forward to seeing the scores.